Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Chris Rotolo. I'm a program manager with McMaster Continuing Education, including as part of our Management Principles and Practices program. And I'm very pleased to be co-starring today with Irameet Kaur, also part of our Management Principles and Practices program as an instructor. I'm the opening act, but she'll be the star of the show, talking to you about managing the hybrid workplace. After Irameet's presentation on the hybrid workforce, I'll walk you through the related program, our Management Principles and Practices program. All of our programs are offered in flexible and convenient online formats to fit your lifestyle and schedule. Irameet, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. So, hello everyone. I'm Irameet Kaur, and as Chris mentioned, I'm the instructor here for Management Principles and Practices program at McMaster Continuing Education. I'm also teaching at Conestoga, and I'm taking subjects of business fundamentals, business communication, um, training and development, and various other HR courses and career management. So I would be happy to share my thoughts on managing the hybrid workforce today, which is the need of the hour, and I'm looking forward to interacting with you all.
Before we start, I would like to acknowledge and recognize that McMaster Continuing Education is located on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and the Haudenosaunee nations and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement.
Okay, so thank you, Chris, and a very warm welcome, everyone. I thank you all for joining this webinar today on managing a hybrid workforce. As we all know, the world of work has undergone significant changes over the past few years, especially after COVID 19. The world has suddenly moved to an online platform, and remote work is something that we all are familiar with. So, the rise of hybrid work models combining both remote and on site work has become a reality for almost all of us. Now, before I begin discussing the challenges and the strategies, let me narrate a scenario to all of you. So we have a project team and it's working with some common goals. And some of the members are working in a remote setup, others are working on site. There's an onboarding meeting. The meeting is dispersed. Everybody is clear about their roles, responsibilities, everything. But soon after the meeting, the on site team they meet on a coffee chat and discuss some changes. Those changes are implemented, but the remote team has not been informed about them. I think this seems relatable and many more such scenarios where you might have felt certain communication gaps. So, in this session today, we will focus on such gaps and such challenges. And with that being said, let me ask you a question first. If given the choice, what would you prefer, working from home, the office, or a mix of both? So, the reality is the hybrid work is here to stay. Let's step back here and look at things from a manager's perspective. So, in the case that I just discussed, the scenario, the manager was clueless about what went wrong because they could see there was not proper coordination between the remote team and the on site team. So, something was definitely wrong. So, this brings us to the perspective of the manager. While hybrid work setups certainly they offer a range of attractive benefits, as highlighted by your responses, uh, most of the model is appealing, but let's just step back and look at things from a manager's perspective. Managing hybrid team comes with its own unique challenges that need to be addressed on a daily basis. So today we are going to have a look at these challenges and work out certain strategies that can help us overcome these challenges. 84% of the employees report better productivity when they work remotely. Even the majority of the percentage says that they would like to work in a hybrid setup. Let's have a look at more of these statistics. Some more of them, 74% of the companies have already adopted a permanent hybrid working model. And 90% of the CEOs say adopting a hybrid work model has reduced their business costs. So, as I was saying, since it offers a wide range of benefits, but everything sweet comes with its own bitterness and challenges that we all have to overcome. So, when we talk from the management's perspective, let's have a look at these challenges and then we can discuss about how we can, small steps, small actionable strategies that we can implement that will help us to reduce these gaps and overcome these challenges. So we would be discussing 6 key challenges, and the most important of them, I believe, very common, all of you are familiar with that, is managing the us versus them mentality. So one of the biggest challenges in hybrid workforce is the development of this attitude, us versus them. Us, the remote workers, them means the people who are working online. So this is a feeling that is there in the remote, the people who are working remotely, they feel they do not have enough growth opportunities, their voice is not being heard. And this divide often arises when employees feel that they are, employees working in the office, they feel they are more visible, they are more valued, while the remote employees they are excluded, overlooked. And if not managed properly, it can lead to low morale and, of course, a dissatisfied and a disengaged workforce. Professional development opportunities. Whether the employees are working remotely or they are working in office, everyone should have equal opportunities for promotions, equal opportunities for skill building, uh, equal opportunities for professional development programs, online programs, and this would mean offering more virtual learning options, more mentorship programs that include the remote workers, and transparent career progression pathways. If fairness is ensured in providing such opportunities, it can encourage a sense, it can foster a sense of belonging amongst all the employees. Second can be give all employees a common purpose. To unify a hybrid workforce, it's important to create a shared vision, a shared purpose. So, when employees, regardless of their location, whether they are working remotely or on site, they should be a part of the collective mission, and this should be communicated to them again and again. The leaders can communicate the company values frequently and highlight how the team members can contribute to the business success. It can be discussed how the employees are valuable and they feel a sense of belonging, they feel valued. Creating a strong online meeting policy again is very, very helpful in overcoming this a gap of us versus them. So, hybrid team they need a structured communication, and to avoid any such information gaps, um, a meeting policy should be clearly outlined. Holding virtual meetings at times that can accommodate all time zones, making sure that remote employees have equal speaking opportunities, so encouraging them to speak up during the team meetings, recording those meetings so that the people who could not attend they may have access to the recordings, they can watch it, or by standardizing the practices so that no one misses these meetings, remote or in office, they are left out of important discussions. Probably, if they are not able to participate online due to time constraints or all, an email can be sent, a follow up can be requested, a feedback can be requested, and the loop can be completed. So, this can help us minimize the gap between the us versus them. Regular surveys and regular catch ups are also very, very helpful. Now, these surveys will give you a timely update of what the employees are feeling. The feedback that they provide can help you to modify your strategies. Regular check ins, whether one on one or group check ins, always helps. That also helps the employees in opening up, in expressing their concerns openly. And small informal check ins are also important to know what exactly they are feeling and what concerns they might be having. So, these feedback loops actually allow the companies to identify and address the issues before they escalate into a serious divide. Ensuring that equal resources are provided. So, whether the people are working online or they are working remotely, equal resources should be provided. So, resources and technology, and this would mean the high speed internet connections or reimbursements, ergonomic equipments, any collaboration softwares, or proper IT support. So, all the employees should have equal privileges, they should have equal resources, and the people who are working remotely, they should not be left out. And finally, champion diversity. So, value the varied perspectives, encourage, appreciate, and respect the cultural differences. Hold trainings that can help people respect the different cultural differences, and um, this can help people appreciate each other's viewpoints, appreciate different viewpoints, and it leads to minimization of bias. So, these are a few things that can help us manage the us versus them mentality. Let's have a look at the second challenge now. And that would be the most important one, communication and collaboration. In fact, the scenario that we discussed at the beginning of this session is a classic example of miscommunication or incomplete communication, since the on site people implemented certain changes but they failed to inform the remote employees. Probably there was not a proper policy, probably they had not been trained to interact and coordinate with all the team members, so certainly there was a gap. Now, how can this gap be addressed? So, when employees are split between remote and office work, miscommunication, delays, misunderstandings, they are very, very common. So, this confusion about responsibilities, roles, the processes, the communication process, the points, discussions, everything should be highlighted. So, to address these challenges, the organizations must adopt certain strategies which we are going to discuss, set communication guidelines. Having a structured approach to communication is critical, and it's critical in a hybrid model. And the organizations should ensure that they have a clear communication protocol. For example, which tools should be used for different types of communication? Probably emails for formal updates, Slack and other tools for quick discussions, quick chats, one line chats, informal communication, Zoom and a team meeting for more formal meetings, a mass mail in case of a small announcement, and so on. So, this protocol should be established. Then, response time expectations. The expectations should be made clear to prevent any such delays. Meeting etiquettes should be communicated. When should the cameras be on? When should the microphones be off? Avoiding any other tasks while the meeting is on. Ensuring active participation. Again, these are some of the responsibilities of a manager if they want to promote healthy and seamless communication between remote and in person teams. Promoting a consistent communication, maintaining the same thing again and again also helps. And this can be achieved by holding regular team wide updates, holding meetings to update the team about every stage, about every change, using shared collaboration tools. Google has some great collaboration tools which come at no cost and fairly easy to use. So we have Google Docs, spreadsheets, slides. All of these are excellent collaborative tools that everyone can use. So using these shared collaboration tools can help the managers track the progress of projects and bring everybody together on a common platform. The communication is transparent because everyone knows what the other person or what the other team is doing and what's the progress like. Setting clear expectation in terms of work deliverables, deadlines, the expectations, the roles, responsibility, working hours, logging off hours, and the performance parameters is important. So for the team that's working remotely, all these expectations should be set clear at the beginning. So what are the logging hours? What are the working hours? What are the expectations? On what parameters will their performance be judged, and so on. And finally, regular check ins. As we discussed in the earlier case, also, regular check ins are always helpful. These can be one on one or team check ins, or they can be a large group meeting. Maybe once in a while, we can have an in person meeting for everyone. I also find breakout rooms to be very, very useful. So, in case we have a large groups, we can create breakout rooms, and breakout rooms help the people to interact in an informal way. They can come up with their own concerns, and when the group is small, more people can talk. So, having meetings in small breakup rooms in small groups can also help. And finally, fostering transparency. So, keeping the employees informed about the company changes, the decisions, the goals, encouraging open communications, and making the employees comfortable so that they feel their voice is being heard, using shared dashboards, Dropbox, and other project management tools to give everyone visibility into the tasks and the progress. So, moving on to the next challenge, and that's performance management. Now, when the employees are working in a remote setup, it's often the same parameters that we have been working with traditionally, they might not work. So the managers, they need to change their approach, define clear expectations. In fact, you will notice that most of the suggestions, most of the strategies that we are discussing, they are overlapping. You might see they are repeating themselves. The reason being these small steps, again, these actionable strategies, they are applicable to almost all the challenges. So one strategy can be effective in many of the challenges. So that's the beautiful part. Okay, so defining clear expectations. Now, here I would suggest when we are defining these expectations, when we are having a discussion with the employees, remote or in person, it's a good idea to use the SMART goal method. So, SMART goal method, where S stands for specific. So, the goals that you are preparing, they should be specific and nothing vague. For example, I cannot say I will be successful in sales one day. This is very vague. Successful itself is a vague term because the definition of success varies from everyone. If I ask right now what is success, I'm sure all of us would have a different definition. So be specific what you mean. I want to achieve my sales target. Measurable. The goals should be measurable. They should have a quantity attached, a number attached. I want to achieve 100% of my target. A stands for achievable, realistic. The goals should be achievable. So be practical, look at the situations, analyze the situations, and accordingly set up the goals. Are they achievable or not? So they should be achievable and they should be relevant to the job. So sales target is certainly relevant, and finally they should be time bound. So adding a timeline always helps us in tracking our progress. So I would say I would like to achieve 100% of my target in the next 2 months. So, when 1 month has passed, I know where I stand. I have only achieved 40% of my target, 60% still needs to be worked on. So, what will I do? I'll increase my speed, I'll change my strategy, I'll come up with innovative ideas, and I will try to work extra hard. So, always having a smart goal with a quantity, with a timeline, helps us in measuring our own success, helps us in tracking our own success. And this is a powerful tool for the managers also. They know where things are heading to. So, defining the clear expectations using a SMART method, I think it's a very, very practical idea. And SMART goals is something that almost all organizations are adopting. Focus on the outcome. So, rather than those earlier approaches, how many hours the person has worked, how many things, checklists the person has delivered, it's time to move on to an outcome based approach, the result oriented work. So, evaluate the results in terms of quality and quantity both. Again, that would depend on industry, that would depend upon the company. Provide regular feedback, provide constructive feedback. So schedule frequent one-on-ones to discuss the progress, understand their concerns. As a manager, it's always a good idea to be an active listener. So listen to the employees concerns and offer work out a solution together. So provide regular feedback about what is going wrong, what can be done to make it correct, what are the expectations, clarify that, what are the, if there are any changes, they need to be communicated, if the employee is doing the work in the desired way. So regular feedback, constructive feedback, one-on-one feedback should be provided to the employees. This also helps them in engaging them. This also helps them in getting a feeling that yes, we are being observed, we are being valued, and our work matters. And finally, encouraging self reflection. Allow the employees to set their own goals, professional as well as personal goals that align with the overall organizational objectives. For example, an employee would say, I would like to enroll myself for an MBA because I believe it would help me in my career progression in this company. Encourage that. Let them make their own goals and provide them opportunities to fulfill and achieve their goals. So, provide them with training opportunities, online trainings, some days off for their exam preparation, and many such things. So, encourage self reflection, allow them to analyze themselves on the parameters of their SMART goals, how much they have worked, how much more is left, where have they reached, what more do they need to achieve, whether they need to change their strategy or not. So, these are a few ways in which we can change our mindset about how to measure the performance of the employees who are working in a remote setup. Let's look at the next challenge now, and that's employee engagement. I believe if you're managing a hybrid team, probably this is one challenge that has triggered your mind like nothing. Like you are constantly looking for new ideas. How do I engage my team? How to make them more active on the virtual platform? How do I make them interact more? Having cameras on is one thing, but encouraging them to speak is another thing. Many a times, the employees, when they are in a virtual setup or even in an in person setup, we hesitate to speak. Not everyone is open about that. Now, what can we do in such a situation? Now, the thing to understand over here is when the employees feel comfortable, when they have a feeling that they are not being judged, everybody is same, they are here on a common platform, and everybody is their well wisher. That's the feeling that helps us in presenting our ideas. So that's something that helps us in raising our hands and giving our inputs. So, hosting, encouraging such activities that promote team building, that makes everyone familiar with each other, that assures everyone that they are being respected and they are not being judged. This can be done by hosting virtual team building activities where people from the remote setups can be an equal participant. So, organize online events like virtual happy hours or informal coffee chats virtually also. And as somebody mentioned in the chat, once in a while having an informal in person meeting. I know of a bank which organizes monthly informal get togethers for their team members. So, in that way, all the team members come together, they interact, they discuss their achievements, they discuss their concerns, clarify any misunderstandings, solve their grudges, and things move on. It's very important because when we are working at different locations, sometimes we tend to keep things to ourselves, and unless and until we discuss it with the other person, things will not be solved because we do not know what the situation is on the other side. Sometimes we are just going by our own opinion. I did this, I did that. Why didn't they do this? Unless and until you step into their shoes, unless and until you know what they were going through, we will not be able to appreciate and respect their viewpoint. So it's nothing like a right or wrong. Everybody is right in the same way. It's thus that we need to appreciate and respect different mindsets. So everybody, whatever they are doing according to the best of the resources available, according to the best of their knowledge and their understanding. And if it is not matching with the expectations, it's time we talk and we sort it out. So certainly, such team building activities, virtual and in person, are very very effective. Uh, Next is we can recognize the achievements. So celebrate individual achievements as well as team accomplishments. So whenever there is an online meeting, make sure that you appreciate and acknowledge even the small achievements of the team members and celebrate both individual achievements at individual and team levels. This, of course, encourages everyone. All of us know about the motivational needs. Some people do feel happy when they are appreciated, when their work is acknowledged, when they feel that yes, their effort was seen. And I think that's a very that's a human need that we all have. So let's face it, we all need recognition and appreciation at different points. So apply that to your team and celebrate their achievements, no matter how small they are. Even if they have helped a co-worker, they have gone out of their way to help the co-worker. It's a great idea to appreciate that in front of everyone. So appreciate in public, criticize in private is something that we should really follow. Um, we can also implement employee recognition programs where peers and managers can highlight the great work. So again, small group meetings or one-on-one meetings where and employee recognition programs where the efforts of the team members are acknowledged. Offer rewards, incentives. This can be monetary or as bonus, as gift cards, shout outs, applaud points, anything that can help the increase the motivation level or which can increase the morale of the team, which can make them feel valued and make them feel that yes, their effort was noticed, their contribution has been valued, and they have been given importance. Next comes the professional development and engagement. Um, Establishing a mentorship program where employees can connect with the experienced colleagues for career guidance is one such way where people can know about how to take their career further, what are the steps that they can take. Offering training programs and upskilling opportunities, many of them are online, encouraging them to enroll themselves for some course. LinkedIn Learning is a great platform providing access to such online courses, workshops, certifications, sponsoring them for a program. All of this is making the people future ready, keeping them motivated and keeping them engaged. So more engaged the people are, more high the higher will be the productivity. We all know that. Let's move on to the next challenge now, a positive work culture. All right. So, a strong positive work culture is the foundation of a successful hybrid workforce. However, in a hybrid model, maintaining a unified culture it can be very very challenging. Sometimes the employees may feel disconnected from their company's values, while in office people, since they have more opportunities, they have a direct access to leaderships and resources, so it's easy for them to network. And uh, some of the ways in which we can foster a positive work culture focus on the wellness and mental health initiatives. So they must prioritize mental health, they must prioritize physical health, and encourage a balanced work life approach. So, having a flexible mindset, providing flexible working hours, encouraging the employees to take up, like if they're working remotely, if they have long sitting hours, then encouraging them to take frequent breaks. That's a good idea. Encourage them to stay open to the changes that are happening, be aware of the changes that are happening. Seek feedback. So, listening to the employee feedback and adjusting the work arrangements accordingly can help. Again, this can help the employees in feeling valued. Offering customized hybrid options, while it may not be feasible in large organizations, or it may not be practical every time, but if a person has some special needs, then customized hybrid options can be an option. Experimenting with new collaboration tools. We have so many technological tools available today, and experimenting with them to enhance the remote and in office synergy can be really, really helpful. Creating a workplace policy that works for everyone. Now, we have already discussed this point before. So, having a well defined hybrid workplace policy that ensures fairness. So, clearly outlining the expectations for remote work, how many days in person, how many days in office. If you're working remotely, how many hours should be there? What should be the guidelines for communication, availability, performance management? Again, the clarity should be there. Regular review, update in the policy, a transparent hybrid policy definitely helps the employees in feeling valued, listened to, and more secure. Creating a safe environment, again, psychological safety is important. Encourage open communication. Again, one to one meetings are a great way of doing that. Promoting and sorry Having strong anti-harassment policies in place, zero tolerance for discrimination, and having such strong policies can help the employees feel more secure. With regards to internet safety, again, there are a number of tools that are available. Maintain equal access to promotions, raises, and leaderships, and so that the employees feel that they have equal opportunities. And again, coming to the point that we discussed a few minutes back, a safe environment where everybody feels safe to present their views. They do not feel that they are being judged, or their points are not being valued, their points are not being respected. So, creating such safe virtual spaces is equally important. Encouraging informal communication, again, we are coming back to the same point that really helps, and leading by example. So, as the culture starts from the very top, so demonstrate a work life balance, uh, set up different hours for office, the different hours for your personal work, actively participating in wellness and engagement activities. So, actively participating in professional development programs, encouraging them doing the same things that you are preaching, that you are encouraging the people to do, that certainly helps, because the team members tend to follow their leaders. The last one, employee well being. So, again, when we are managing a team that's working remotely and in person, employee well being is again a very big challenge. So, maintaining the mental health, physical health, again, that's very important. So, flexible working hours, setting clear boundaries of personal and professional work, that's very important. Virtual mental health resources. There are ample resources that are available. Headspace, Calm, offering employee assistance programs to the virtual employees, that helps. And recognizing and addressing the signs of burnout. In fact, the managers who are managing a hybrid workforce, they should be trained on how to recognize those signs of burnout, so that proper corrective action can be taken, intervention can be done, and timely action can be taken to minimize the damage. For ensuring the physical well being, the ergonomics, home office setup, virtual wellness programs, some of them in person, some of them online programs, they should be there. I remember while onboarding for a different college where I was teaching, this was during COVID, I was asked to fill a form. There was a checklist which asked me to tick mark on whether I have a proper chair to sit on, I do have a proper workstation, is there enough light in my room, are there enough resources available. So what was that? It was just to keep a check on if I have the required resources. You might have also seen there were so many online programs about how to maintain your mental health while working remotely, and there are so many other resources available. So encourage the use of such resources, encourage the people to attend such programs so that they feel good. Social connection and engagement, again, virtual team building activities. Some of them can be virtual, once in a while, they can be in person. And finally, recognition and career growth. So that's how we can go about ensuring that the employees are satisfied, they ensuring the mental health, physical health of the employees and giving it importance. Okay, so let's now try to see at some other aspects of hybrid work. So, fortunately, we are living in a world where we see a new technology coming up every other day. So, today it was some app that came, tomorrow it will be something else, but there is so much that we can do. There are so many technological advancements that are happening, and instead of being overwhelmed by these changes, I think it's a good time to actually embrace them and try to see how we can make the maximum of them by incorporating them in our daily work life. So, empowering your hybrid teams with the right technology can simplify the way you can manage your teams. And there are many such tools available. I've just collated these tools for you, and you can provide suggestions for more tools that you have worked on. So, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Slack, and Google Meet, they are excellent tools for collaboration and communication. For visual collaboration, we have Miro, Lucid Spark. For documents, we have Google Docs, Dropbox. For scheduling, we have Google Calendar, Outlook, Doodle, TeamUp officially. For security and compliance, we have data encryption, VPNs. For project management, we have Trello, Jira, Smartsheet, Asana. Enhancing employee engagement and well being, we have Culture Amp and Office Vibe. And for upskilling with training, we have LinkedIn Learning courses, Udemy, Coursera, and many more such courses. Now, this is just a collective slide for technology. I would like to take your thoughts specifically to artificial intelligence. We cannot escape that, can we? So it's everywhere, wherever we look, right, left, up, down, wherever. Artificial intelligence is simply everywhere. So we cannot skip that topic. So, coming to how can we benefit from artificial intelligence? How can managers use artificial intelligence tools to maintain their hybrid workforce? So, let's have a look at our next slide and share a few artificial intelligence tools that we use. Okay, so AI and the hybrid workforce. So, AI, one thing that we all have to understand is while we all fear that AI might take away our job, the reality is it might not take away our job, but if we upskill, if we learn new things, this will just change the nature of the job. For example, the hiring processes, the way the people are hired has changed. The actual hiring has not changed. We still require managers to hire people. We still require trainers to train people. We still require mathematicians to give inputs to AI on how to solve complex problems. So the nature of the job has changed. Yes, there are more skills that are we are demanding more skills from the employees, but the crux, the essence of the job remains the same. So let's explore a few AI applications that can help us in managing a hybrid workforce. Again, this is just I've just collected a few resources. I'm still exploring all the AI tools. I'm not an expert at that, but probably I can share a resource with Chris, and he can share with all of you where a few resources have been listed for some tasks. So for automated workflows and intelligent assistance, now these Trello, Asana, and Monday.com, they are excellent resources for project management. They can help you track your progress. They can automate repetitive tasks. They can assign priorities, provide reminders, provide deadlines, and ensure that all the team members stay on track and they are aware of each other's performance, the progress that they are making in case of a collaborative project. So this helps in maintaining transparency too. For enhanced communication and collaboration, we can use tools such as Stack AI and Microsoft Copilot. Again, they can help automate meeting schedules, delegations, and follow ups. For engagement, employee engagement and well being, we have Culture Amp and Office Vibe. And such apps use employee sentiments, data about employee sentiments, and help the managers to gauge morale and motivational levels. If there is a need, then early interventions can also be personalized support can be provided. Early interventions can be made. For smart hiring and performance management, we have HireVue, LinkedIn AI, and Lattice. And for cybersecurity and data protection, we have AI tools such as Darktrace, IBM, and Watson Security. Okay, so with this technological discussion, let's move ahead and analyze what the future of a hybrid workforce might look like. Okay, so there would be adoption of more flexible models, flexible in terms of work schedules, flexible in terms of work modes, in terms of timelines and everything. Technological advancements, of course, there would be new advancements every day, each day, and all the organizations and the employees, we all need to adapt ourselves to the changes. So we are living in this volatile, uncertain world, and we all have to be a hero in this world. Data driven tech strategy. So, most of the decisions would be data driven. Most of the managers would be taking decisions that are based on data because that's easily accessible. It would be more, that would be more detailed and would be more realistic. Employee centric focus will be there because all the organizations would be would try to focus on the mental health, on the mental well-being of all the employees, because so much of technology, so many changes, not only technological, even the political, social, economical changes around us, it's actually sometimes very confusing and it can be overwhelming at times. So yes, mental health is a priority. Redefining the office spaces, which will be more like a collaborative kind of a thing. We will be having more global and diverse teams, and that's why it's very important to make our managers aware, make a hybrid team aware how the different opinions can be respected, how to respect different cultures as well. And one thought that I would like to share over here, and that's one thought that I would like to end up the presentation with. Today, we talked about managing a hybrid workforce, where hybrid was the meaning that we interpreted was a remote setup and an online setup. But the definition of hybrid work is again changing. In future, hybrid would mean, in fact, it has started to mean like that, it would mean humans and machines, AI. So, how are machines, AI, and humans working together? How they are collaborating together, and you never know, even the AI tools, even the machines would face a hiring process and a firing process. So that's how the definition of hybrid work is changing in future, and probably that gives us another suggestion for a new webinar, Chris, managing hybrid workplaces to AI and humans. So that would be something interesting to watch out for. And that's what I wanted to share with you. And again, I would like to uh, end with a question. Which key trends in hybrid working do you anticipate, and any kind of additional strategies or challenges that you have come across while managing hybrid teams? So that's it from me. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to return for a bit and tell you a bit about our management principles and practices program. This is where we would teach you the core foundational skills, the best practices for leading an organization. In this program, you'll learn how to effectively manage, lead, and strategize to stand out in today's business environment. So this can be a very quick program you can do to build management skills if that's something that you're looking to do to explore your career options. We work on developing essential skills and best practices for supervision and management. You'll explore the purpose and impact of strategic communication, some of which Jeremy addressed today. And it's a chance to earn a certificate with online learning in a way that perhaps fits with your lifestyle. This is designed for people who maybe have a business admin background and are looking to add to that existing education, individuals seeking management training for their professional development goals, or those just interested in developing their competencies in supervision, management, and leadership. There's a lot of good reasons to take this program beyond the skill development, but obviously, like learning the latest management and leadership frameworks, tools, and best practices is valuable. McMaster also has a strong reputation in this area. All of these courses are academic credit courses if your program's relevant, and they're developed in partnership with DeGroote. They're taught by professionals with decades of knowledge and experience in the fields of human resources, process management, change management, and people management. Online learning does give you that flexibility and help and works with multiple learning styles. It's competitively priced and it's open enrollment, which means that there's no formal application or administrative process. All of our programs are offered in a flexible, convenient online format to fit your lifestyle and your schedule. It's online asynchronously, which means you can work on it at your own pace. But we do have a few optional recorded live sessions where you can attend, talk to your instructor. They're generally scheduled at times appropriate for the content or the deliverables that are due. And you have two options in terms of credentials with this program. You can earn a certificate of professional learning in management principles and practices by completing the 3 required courses. And those 3 courses are management fundamentals, strategic communication, and change management as listed here. Or you can do an additional 2 course equivalents. So instead of the 9 academic units from 3 courses, this would be 15 academic units from among a selection of elective courses and receive a full certificate in management principles and practices. So these are additional related content that you can study in design thinking, intercultural competency, other essential management related such negotiation skills, emotional intelligence, navigating workplace conflict, giving and receiving feedback, coaching and mentoring, finance, creative and critical thinking. We are going to open mid-March for the spring summer term. Those courses run May through August, and the fall term begins September 8th, and you'll see an opportunity to start registering for that in mid-July. Awesome. Thank you so much once again for your time, Miramit. And everybody, thank you for taking the time over your lunch hour to attend our webinar today. I hope everybody
Thank
has a
you.
great day.